Good morning. Welcome to the beginner's room here at Real Life Trading. My name is Tony Pollock. Let's dive in. Sorry, taking a little bit to get my computer to want to turn on today. Moving along, what's going on? We got YouTube in the house here with us for this pre-market. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Start throwing some tickers at me if you want us to look at some gaps. We're going to go over our main ones that we will be keeping an eye on over today. But let's go ahead and get started with the markets. Bam, good morning. Cedric, good morning. Albert, what's up? Good morning. Filling in. All right. So let's jump into the markets real fast. This gap and go has me concerned a little bit for the bulls. I do think that we're going to pull back down maybe to 440. And if we're going to go bullish, then we'll go there. That's kind of been my feeling for about a week now. We pull up, we have a very weak gap and go, and then we close very weak back below the 10 EMA and everything. That's very, very weak. We retest back up, stay, break inside this. And then yesterday we stay inside the range of the previous candle. And now we're gapping inside that range. So if we break down, it's going to be very weak. What we want to keep an eye on is a quick break this morning, and then that something that gets bought up off of that could be pretty strong to the bull side. So that's my thinking, but we're just compressing right now. We are squeezing, and the bulls can't get it above this. The bears can't get it below this. I mean, you could even say this, and whichever one wins, it could be a trap or it could be a sign of strength, and that's the direction we head for the rest of the week. So consolidating with this inside gap. Today is not the most amazing day to day trade. Tomorrow is probably going to be amazing. So I don't care to give up too many R's today. I will find opportunities to trade. Can guarantee it. We'll be using the 10 EMA strategy. I'll be finding opportunities to trade, and they'll happen throughout the morning. We'll get them. But if not, I'm actually totally fine just sitting back and waiting for my perfect opportunities. That is the key. Do not jump in just to jump in. Do not take a trade just because the market's open. Wait for your setup. Wait for the time to strike. And when that moment's perfect, now you jump on it, right? All right, cool. So that's my thoughts on the SPY. Another inside candle. Let's see where we actually open up here in 30 minutes. But we've revisited this low right here, the low of the day. We've double bottomed. We've bounced S-curved and trying to bounce. So the bulls are trying to hold this level. It'd be very weak for the bulls if the bears could get this below 446. So that is a spot that we're going to want to keep an eye on today. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this low. And we'll go from there. All right, the Qs. The Qs look a lot weaker. Sorry. Qs look a lot weaker. We've got a support in front of us that we ran into a few days ago. Yesterday was an inside candle, and we're gapping down again just a little bit. It's trying to bounce just like the SPY, but the pre-market actually did get below that, and then we got bought up, retested, and now we're bouncing. So could have a little bullish start up to the day based off of this pre-market. But it's an inside candle, my friends. This is not the time to be aggressive. It's going to be very trappy, especially at the start of the day, unless we can open up below this. If we open up below that yesterday's candle, that candle there, then I'm very interested in going. I'm not out the gate still, but pretty interested in going short. Awesome. So that's the rundown on the main markets that I trade. Let's check out our 10 EMA strategies real quick. And NVIDIA had a nice bull day yesterday, broke out and closed above that high, and now we're gapping back down into the 10 EMA. So it is an inside candle. I'm leaning a little bit more bullish on that one. Tesla, a bad trapping candle yesterday on Tesla. This is a very strong move to get above those resistance there. We broke above it and then just got crushed for the rest of the day. So not super strong. It closed pretty weak back below some EMAs, and we're not gapping at all. So Tesla, again, another inside candle. I'm leaning a little bit bearish on this one today. Let's see if it plays out. I'm just going to tell stocks what to do. We'll see which ones listen, and those are the ones we trade. All right. So, got that AMD. Ooh, AMD is putting in again another trapping candle. Broke out of that. It's very extended. Needs to come back down. I went ahead and closed out of all of my leaps. We still do have some puts on AMD. Hopefully, we can get a little push lower and lose smaller on those. But that was just part of our hedge over earnings. So we'll let those expire. Still made money. All good. So AMD is gapping down. This could potentially be a gap and go. Let's see what it does. But at the moment, we are just an inside candle. So I don't trade those unless we're outside of that range. Roblox, same story as Tesla. Broke out of that bull candle, rampaged higher, and then just got crushed. Most of that happened at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure. So we came down. I guess a lot of Roblox happened right at the start, but we chopped around and then just everything finished so weak. And I think that's one of the reasons why this candle was just so red, because previously, about the last hour of the day, we were still pushing the top of yesterday's candle and then it just fell off. So we'll see how that one trades. I don't really have an edge on that one, but I'd be leaning bearish. Apple is into a bullish support. We came all the way down to the EMA and bounced. We're opening up pretty much flat, still inside candle, just like we were yesterday. Going to be very trappy. I'm thinking I'm taking this one off my list unless we can get outside of the range of one of this here. So add that range there, and then we'll just keep an eye on it to see what happens. DAL with a great gap yesterday, pulling up into a resistance now. So we've got a resistance there, and then we've got another resistance there. So that's going to be some targets for us. We're still inside that wick, so inside the range of yesterday. So I'm not going to be very aggressive on that. That's where we're at for those guys. Again, any questions on those, let us know. I will be keeping an eye on these all morning long, but nothing too aggressive out the gate because the gaps don't tell me to be aggressive. So I'm going to hold back. All right, let's jump into some of your tickers. Square has, let's see, earnings coming up in a couple weeks. Get an idea of where we're at. Square has just been so beat up and coming into a really good support. Doesn't necessarily mean this is where we're going to bounce. With it being this, and we're this low on the RSI, on a daily, on everything, and now we're gapping down again. I feel like this might be a trap. Maybe not. That was an inside candle yesterday. Could go bearish, but I could also see this doing this today and reversing. So keep an eye out for that. I really can't read sentiment very well on this because it is an inside candle gapping down. That normally is not a very bullish sign. At the same time, it's just so beat up. It's so beat up, and we're coming into an amazingly strong support. And we're gapping down again, which could go lower, but again, lots of support. So tough one. I'd go find something easier than that. GM. All right. So GM is having a pretty strong gap down. It's down 4%. Wow. That's a weak gap. Gapping into support. Same story, right? We're already gapping so big right into a support. There's a chance we go a little bit lower, but it probably looks bullish today. We might be going bullish, bouncing off of this. Let's get a bigger perspective. Yeah, that's such a strong support. I do think we could flush real quick lower out the gate, and then it might fade bullish back again. So that could be a fun one to watch. Add it to our fade list. I'm not super excited to go short later on in the day on this. It's too strong of a support, and we're way too beat up. Really low on the RSI. Could go lower. I'm just not going to play it lower. I'm looking for something long. Probably back down into this support here. Somewhere's there. We've also got a pretty good support there as well. Cool. Moderna, please. What the heck is, I don't really trade pharmaceuticals for some reason. MRNA? Yeah, there we go. Good guess in the morning. Good guess in the morning. George says, good spot to add another leap. Probably. Yeah. Just make sure they're 2 years out. Okay. This one, mRNA, earnings are coming up. We're gapping down outside the range of the previous day, but after like 5 bear candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. There we go. So 5 bear candles in a row, gapping down, coming into a support. Could go lower, but I think this chops, maybe even goes a little bit bullish. Might not go bullish until we get down into this range, but still, I'm not super excited to go short on this after 5 bear candles in a row. And it's been very beat up. Pharmaceuticals are tough. They have cool ranges, but they're just not predictable enough for me. For like long-term trades or selling options, it's like I don't really fall for that stuff. They could get a 10% gap overnight, and it happens all the time. So I mean, just ask these people, and just ask these people, and just ask these people. And then that drop, right? It's just way too many for me to want to really. I mean, like I said, you can day trade this gap specifically. I don't really know what to do with. I don't have an edge either way. But long-term stuff, I tend to stay away from these guys for sure. Don't chase it. If it gaps up 100%, don't think it's going to go up another 100%. That's not the long-term game. That's trying to get rich quick. The long-term game is have a plan, stick to that plan, and stay alive. Stay alive. Slowly but surely keep making money. That's the plan. All right. ¿Estás ahí? What's up? Bienvenidos a mis homies de otros países. Let's go with Algo. Is that a ticker? Crypto cap. Oh, okay. So I don't even have this. We can go over some crypto here in a little bit before the markets open. I'm going to try to get to stocks that are opening before markets, but then we can get to that a little bit later on. We talk about crypto all the time here, by the way. I am not a massive, I trade a lot of crypto. I'm just not a crypto expert. I have my few that I like, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and a few others. And I just hodl. I just buy and hold. And that's my strategy. So I'm not the crypto expert, but we do have quite a few in the house though. All right. Apple. That's a good one. Let's check that out. Apple, we looked at already today. It's just an inside candle. I feel like this is going to be extremely choppy. Be careful. As soon as it looks bearish, probably look bullish. As soon as it starts to look bullish, think bearish. You're going to have to really step outside of that. Why did the NFL coach go to the bank? Throwing jokes out. Let's go. Why? Paul says, I was waiting for a retest on DAL yesterday after it gapped up, but no retest. How do you read DAL today? It still does look strong, but we are extended. We're hitting some big resistances. Could go up to 41.57. That's the next resistance, and keep going. But I do feel like we'll work our way back into like 40.50 to 39.50. That's a pretty high probability, I think. So I would wait on that. Ronnie, good question. How do you know if you should be a scalper, day trader, or swing trader? Basing it with psychology. Okay. From my experience and from coaching hundreds of traders, most of the time, and I'm not saying you're a new trader. I'm just saying this is the mentality. This is my mentality. Most of the time with new traders, Scalping seems really attractive because you can make a lot of money really quick and you're too scared to be in the trade for longer than 10 seconds anyways, right? So scalping is it is a very advanced strategy where you really need to know what constitutes a big move really quickly. Where's a good place for a setup that has a really nice risk reward that you can get in and out. Most of the time they require hotkeys and you're in and out very quickly on a very low time frame chart, using very, very high shares amount and volume. Okay. So it is an advanced strategy. And most people that try to do it, normally, this is what scalping to most people means, is they get in here with their stop here, and then they just try to catch 2 Rs there because it doesn't have to make that big of a move, right? What mostly happens is they're not good enough, and so they keep getting stopped out before the move happens. And then you go in and you keep getting stopped out before the move happens. And you can try to go short, and it goes short, and then you get stopped out, and then it goes. And that's been the issue, and I just got bled to death, and you're putting a lot of size on because you have such a tight stop, and it's tough. You've got to get used to losing all the time and make sure that you have really good setups. It's an advanced strategy. Day trading requires you to understand the markets extremely well because you have to make decisions in 10 seconds, not a day. So how can you analyze something in 10 seconds? Well, you need to know what you're looking for. You need to have a solid strategy and you need to understand how to lose because you're going to have around a 50% win rate. You'll have a 50% win rate with everything in the markets unless you're selling options. So get used to losing. Get used to losing. Swing trading is normally a more preferred option. It doesn't require you deal with pattern day trading rules. You have days to think about it and plan it. It's normally easier. The problem with that is most people struggle with patience and they find a way to screw up the trade. And you also have to deal with gaps. So if you went long right here, let's say you bought this and you had your stop here, and then it gaps all the way down to here. It doesn't matter that your 1 R is here. You're going to get filled wherever the thing opens. Now you can get out post market if you have shares and stuff, but there's a chance you lose like 3 Rs on a trade on a gap, even though your stop was at 1 R. Well, R means risk unit. Okay. So you have some downsides to swing trades. There's positives and downsides to everything in the markets. There's no just one like, yes, this thing is perfect. But it all depends on you. Each person is individual. I've had a lot of new traders that kill at day trading. I've had a lot of new traders that kill it with options. Once they just, before they learned anything, they learned options and then they make a lot of money. To get his quarterback. Oh my gosh. That's a good one, man. And it's up to you. Just realize there is no golden nugget. That is the biggest thing to realize. Do not chase the golden nugget. Do not chase the perfect, amazing, what strategies can make me a millionaire in 2 weeks. It just doesn't exist unless you have $100 million in your bank account. If you got $100 million in your trading account, then you can easily make $1 million next week. If you've got anything less than that, then you are putting way too much risk on, and you might as well just go scratch a lottery ticket. It's just, that's not how to play the markets. Cool. All right. NCL, Albert says, sorry, Albert, waiting on that. NCL. Not enough volume on this. I don't even know what the heck this is. Did I type that in right? Did you type it in right? Oh, okay. NCLH. That's better. I was going to say, Albert, dang, I know you're not going to trade a stock like that. Has got so little volume. You've been around the block long enough, man. Figure that had to be a typo. This is showing a lot of strength when the market is not. Relatively, where are we at? We're stepping down. So be careful of this because we've been in this pattern for a little bit. Flagging out, drop, flagging out, drop. Does that mean I think we drop soon? No, probably not. But just realize this EMA is what's been holding us down on a weekly chart since October. And we are gapping right into it, this 20 EMA on a weekly. So if we mark this guy out with a little blue line there, actually, let's go ahead and make that thing green just to mix it up some. Go to a 3 minute and look where we're at. We're gapping right into it. We've hit it once, rejected. So if we start to rampage, I still feel like that could be a trap. I don't know how strong the bulls will be up here because they've already made a big move pre-market. Maybe the plan is to let this thing pull back. That would be ideal. And then try to play it with a target back up into it would be the way you do it. Ryan says you're up 6 Rs. So you're using the 10 EMA strategy. Yeah. Simple, right? Nothing too crazy. It's not this like insane strategy where it's you've got to just be so smart to do this and so this and then no, it's a strategy that utilizes moves on the market that you can follow and be profitable, right? So Ryan, you're up 6 Rs from last week. Don't be shocked if you lose 3 Rs this week, because that's how the market's, right? 50% win rate. So there's a chance flipping a coin, you'll get heads 5 times in a row. Do you think that you're going to get heads another 5 times in a row? Statistically, probably not, right? So just have the expectation of realizing you probably already do. It's going to seem like this is amazing and what you're going to want to do. I know this is maybe not you, but everyone reading this is going to go, man, I'm up 6 Rs. I've made a lot of money. So if you risked $500, then you're making $1,000 pretty much on every win, just about, right? Just 1 R at a time. Yeah. If you're going 2 Rs, right? So you're profiting all that money and you're doing this 6 and you start to go, man, if I would just put $1,000 on this, I could have made so much. So what do? You put $1,000 on it and you're flipping that coin. You've got heads 6 times in a row. Not to say you've made, 6 wins in a row, right? You're going to say you probably had some. Yeah, there you go. You had a couple wins and losses throughout it. But this is where people go wrong, is they hit a little win streak and then they add more money on and then they hit a losing streak, because the odds of you hitting, multiple winners in a row day trading is very rare. It does happen though, but it's not very often. So then they lose money and they lose all the money that they made because they raised their R, and then they lower their R just in time for them to hit a couple winners. And then they're on this path of just getting their butt kicked because they keep adjusting. So just keep your R the same until you've doubled your account. Then up it. That's my opinion when you're first starting out. When you double your account, raise your R. And your R should be the amount that you would give to a homeless person. If you'd give $500 to a homeless person today, then that should be your R. If you would give $10 to a homeless person, then that needs to be your R. You need to give an R where you do not care. Starting out, you can raise it later on when you understand how it's played, but starting out, you need to literally not care. It's like, man, I don't care if I lose on this trade or win, because it's just not enough money for me to care. And then your brain will start to realize, dang, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money I put on it, because it's all the same thing, right? And Facebook getting crushed again. So gapping down. I don't know what's going to happen with Facebook. It's incredibly extended. We will have a bounce because we know how markets work. They do this. They don't just do this. So it looks like we're doing this and your brain's convincing you like, man, we're just going to go lower, and we very well could. But at one point, it's going to put this in. And then all the bulls will get excited. And then the odds are it does that again. And they all get taken out. It goes even lower. So cool. That's my thoughts on Facebook at the moment. I don't know. It's too extended for me to want to trade. We're into a support. I think this gap down is probably going to be the sign of some sort of reversal. Trap the bears one more time and then a bounce back up. Where do we bounce to? It's a freaking awesome question. I have no idea. So that's my thoughts on Facebook. I would actually be looking for something long, and I would want the bears to commit out the morning. Bears commit and then wait for them to be taken out. And then will you win? No idea. Do a leap on this. I'm not touching Facebook right now. It's broke its trend. Like if we go to a monthly chart, we have broken the higher low. This bull trend is over with. We are now in a long-term bear trend until the lower high gets taken out, and then we're back into a bull trend. So at the moment, we are in a bear trend now. So I'm not buying leaps in a bear trend. Simple as that. All right. Pfizer. What is the ticket for? It's like PFE or something like that. I'm on it. You can tell I really don't trade these stocks very often. Huge gap down into a support, retest gap. It is trapping some bulls. Make sure I'm on a daily. Yep. I feel like this is going to bounce bullish for the morning, and then we'll see what it does. Lara, exactly right. S-curve tells you everything you need to know. Everyone's so focused on a strategy and they have no idea how the markets work. Learn how the markets work, and then you can apply any strategy successfully to them. Everyone just wants to learn a strategy. I know, Lara's like, it's amazing. Everyone does the markets backwards and they wonder why it takes them a year to be profitable. Learn how the markets work and then apply a strategy. You can apply any strategy to the market you want. Everything works, just not all the time. You can literally say, I will buy every time I have 5 bear candles in a row on a daily. That could be a strategy. Will it win every time? Nope. It'll probably be around 50%, like every other strategy out there that is directional. But as long as you can manage your risk to lose small and win big, you will be profitable. But the problem is, until you understand how the markets work, it doesn't matter what strategy you do. It doesn't matter if you do the 10-minute 10 EMA strategy, if you do a reversal strategy, if you do my credit spread strategy, if you do a naked put strategy, if you just make up a strategy like I just did right there, it doesn't matter. You will find a way to screw it up because you don't know how the markets work. PayPal, real quick before we start the day off, PayPal does make money. Let me look at quarterly and see where we're at. Still makes money. I know these aren't like amazing, but it's something. We're into a really good support. Are we gapping down? If we're gapping down, I'm interested. No, dang it. No gap. Oops, my bad. This will bounce eventually, but it might go down to 100 before it does. Just a little FYI, but I do believe that this gap fills. Man, that is just a terrible gap. Golly, terrible gap. How did you know not to go long on this? Because the bull trend's over with. We're in a bear trend, which means it does S curves, right? You should be buying puts here and cashing out, although it's over earnings, so I wouldn't do that anyways, but cool. It's pretty much at its support. Do not go short here unless it's a day trade. You can, but be quick. And you're in a rock solid support after a massive move lower. What do we expect to have happen next? Another bounce and then probably another roll down. We'll see what happens. Does it go lower? Yes, but does that change the fact that we're still going to wait for a bounce? Nope. First part of the S curve is always that, and then this, and then that. All right. My friends, I love you all. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your questions. If you have any questions, though, that I didn't get to, you can always reach out to Real Life Trading. Reach out to me, Tony at reallifetrading.com. Email me, and we'll see if we can't help bring some more value into your life. Love you guys. We'll see you later. That's on